Well, hello everybody. I'd like to start this little video with an explanation of something that is not in the title or the description or mentioned in the tags. I think a lot of you, I know a lot of you, subscribe to Brendan Bacon Soda, as I do, and enjoy his videos of his garden and his greenhouse, and particularly his discussions with his potato reveals. I always look forward to those. And in one of his recent reveals, he expressed some opinions that I agree with completely. He wants to do an appreciation giveaway or draw, or whatever you want to call it, for his subscribers. But his concern is that if you mention it in the tags or in the description or in the title, then you attract these people that are out there cruising YouTube and Google Plus just to find channels that are offering prizes so they can subscribe and get in on the draw, the competition, or whatever. I've always had the same concern. Earlier on, some of you who have been subscribed to me for quite a while probably remember that I did one or two of these things. And definitely it gives you a boost. You always get a few more subscribers. I've always wondered if those people are the same ones that unsubscribe later on if they didn't win. I was fortunate the people that did win my previous draw were subscribers that had been there for some time and were commenting on videos and whatever, so I was lucky in that regard. Lately, since I haven't been doing it myself, offering prizes, I mean, I occasionally offer some extra seeds or whatever if anybody wants those. And by the way, I still have olive seeds. If you're interested, PM me your address and I'll gladly send you a couple of olive seeds. But since I haven't been doing these competitions or draws, giveaways, I didn't feel it was fair for me to enter. And a lot of the people that I subscribe to have been doing them. So if I want to comment on that video, I typically say something like, might make my comments on the video, and then I say, please don't enter me in your draw. I would rather see somebody else win the nice prize that you're offering. And I'm not really certain of which one I'm talking about right now, but one of the recent ones that I did that to, after I had made that comment, I noticed that the comment directly above mine was made by, well, I say it was made by a woman. It was made by somebody who was using a female name anyway. This is the internet. You can be anything you want to be. But the comment went along, something along the lines of, I just found your channel and I've subscribed. Please enter me in your contest, competition, whatever. I thought, well, with Google Plus, if that person hasn't restricted comments so that you can't view their comments, I'll be able to see what their recent comments were. I clicked on this person. Sure enough, in Google Plus, they were being quite open and all of their comments were there. That day alone, that person had made that same comment on 8 different channels. So I don't know how common this is, but that was the example, and that was what strengthened my resolve not to do the open contest again. Well, I'm going to do this the way Brendan is doing it. All you have to do is comment on this video, any comment, and I will add your name to the draw. This video is coming out on the Ides of March, March 15th. 10 days later, on the 25th of March, I will take all of those names and either draw them out of a hat or use one of these random things on the internet to assign a number to each one. Anyway, I'll make that public and do it publicly when I do it. In your comment, please do not say anything about please enter my name in your draw or anything like that. Don't mention it, because those comments are also viewable, and I would really like this prize to go to somebody who has been watching my videos. And having said that, I know there are a lot of people out there who watch my videos who don't normally make comments, and I appreciate you as much as anybody else, but to get in this particular competition or draw, no competition involved, I guess, you need to make some sort of a comment. I've got over, well, I think right now when I'm making this video, I'm 3,100 and some odd subscribers. And within 10 days to 2 weeks, most of my recent videos have been getting around, well, let's say a little over 400 looks at them. And of that is like maybe 50 or less than 50, because I guess I'm counting my replies in the comments. So obviously there are a lot of people watching the videos that just don't choose to make comments, but I would like you to join in on this as well. So without further ado, I'll show you the prizes here. I'll give you a little close-up of what the prize is. It's one prize, several items, but it's going to go to one person. So let's have a little closer look at this, and I look forward to a lot of you commenting and making this draw on the 25th. Well, I guess as I've already said, it's going to be one draw, one prize, but it's sort of in two sections. The first section is for you gardeners out there. A collection of seeds, 6 different kinds of seeds, and I don't know how well that shows up, but it's from the Annapolis Seed Company in Nova Scotia. I will also put a link below the video to their website. Just wanting to share some excellent seeds with you, but also promote a small, well, not exactly local to my exact area here, but a small maritime seed company that I think is doing a very good job. All of their seeds are open pollinated heirloom varieties that they have grown, and or farms in the area have grown and produced the seeds, so they should be quite hardy for maritime Canada, and I would think almost anywhere else. Anyway, the 6 varieties of seeds that I have chosen, this one is called Suyo, S-U-Y-O, long cucumber. It says a very crispy, sweet, tender, long, thin cucumber, great fresh or pickled. Fruit will spiral if grown on the ground, or will be straight if grown on a trellis. And the next one is nut butter squash, and it's a personal size butternut squash, so an individual serving size butternut squash. For flowers, I'm offering the red poppy, which is an annual single red poppy blossom, sort of like the one that you see in Flanders Field type things, the one that we use for the Remembrance Day poppies here in Canada. Same idea anyway, if not the exact same variety. And the next one is another homage to Brendan. I'm going to grow these for the first time this year. I must admit I didn't get my seeds from Annapolis. I just discovered that they offer them. But this is Gardener's Delight, the cherry tomato. And if you watch Brendan's channel, you have seen the beautiful tomatoes that he grows of this variety, long trusses of a cherry-sized tomato. The next item is Ethiopian lentils. Isn't actually a lentil, it's similar to a lentil, and hardy for this area. It grows 3 feet tall, and vines, and has blue flowers. So the flowers alone will be interesting, but I use lentils in soup or whatever. I thought it would be interesting to try to grow my own, so I'm going to grow those this year myself. And the last one is Mrs. Burns Lemon Basil, a lemon-flavored basil. I don't think I've ever tried a lemon-flavored basil. I'm trying several different varieties this year, but not this particular one. So that's the 6 packets of seed that will be included. And the next item here, I guess you can see it or not there. It is a tea chest or tea kit bought from a company called Tivana, and it has in it, if I can get back here a bit maybe, that's better. It has in it 4 different kinds of tea sealed in foil packets, and if I can get one of these out of here, 4 canisters to put the tea in. I won't take this out of the package because I want to make sure it arrives in one piece in your area. But it's a tea maker, or teapot if you want to call it, but very high tech, and you'll see more about that, I guess, if you win the prize. And something that I have never used in tea before, but this particular company promotes a thing called rock sugar to make your perfect tea. Well, I don't usually use sugar in tea myself, but this interests me. It's sealed, so I can't see what it's like inside, but it feels like very large granules of what they're calling rock sugar. So that is the prizes when you put the two things together there. Combined value of, I don't know, close to $100, I guess, in that area. Anyway, please leave a comment below, and I will be glad to enter you in the draw. And as I've said before, don't make any mention of the draw or whatever in your comment. I'm also including up here a link to Brendan's channel, who originated this idea. So if you're not already subscribed to Brendan, head over and have a look at his channel. His videos are excellent. I'll continue on now with the actual things that are mentioned in the video title here. One thing I forgot to mention is this draw is available to anybody, anywhere on the planet. I think Brendan in his little discussion said that he would send it anywhere in the universe. Well, I'll restrict mine to the solar system, Brendan. But anyway, wherever you live, I'd be glad to send this package to you. I'll send it as a gift, as I already given you a rough idea of the value. I think it's close to $100. But so hopefully that will make it through customs in your area as a gift without having to pay any taxes on it, but feel free to enter, and at least we'll ship it off to you and you can see what happens. Well, Brendan, this is for you. You started chitting your potatoes, so I thought it's time that I start doing mine. The 8 Cara potatoes that I saved for seed have been in this box all winter down in the basement in shavings and sawdust. I've been checking on them regularly, and they came through the winter quite nicely. You can see 1 or 2 have already got fairly long sprouts, and some of the other ones are just barely starting to sprout. I have them on a little, what do you call those things, TV tables, TV stands, I guess, whatever, for, you know, snacking on or whatever. It's in the corner of my dining room. I'm going to keep them under that box, and as you saw with the lid partially sprung, to let in a certain amount of light. And my dining room is not very warm. Actually, the only room that I really heat in the wintertime, and I don't heat it all that hot, is the living room. All the other thermometers in the house are set on 5 degrees. There is some heat that comes from the living room, and this room has 2 large windows in it, so it gets some sun, heat from the sun as well. But just as an example, I just checked. There's a Minimax thermometer on the wall here that reads the outside and inside temperature both, and it's about 12 degrees, 11.8 degrees in here right now. So I think that'll be a good temperature for them. I'm going to try everything that I did last year. I'm going to start them early in pots, and when it's ready to put them out, I'll put them into larger grow bags in the greenhouse. But chitting has started, Brendan. Well, today is March the 6th, and it was -15 earlier this morning, but I've decided that I need to start some more peppers and tomatoes. I would like to have started the sweet pepper earlier. This is a variety that I haven't grown before, called Tomcat, but it was out of stock when I ordered it, and just arrived a few days ago, so it's just getting started now. The tomatoes, I'm only going to grow 2 varieties this year, and they're both small tomatoes, cherry-type tomatoes. The first one is Gardener's Delight, which Brendan, Baking Soda, in Northern Ireland has such great success with, so I have to try that to see if I can get something similar to happen here. And the other one is a yellow pear tomato, which is again, a very small tomato, probably even smaller than Gardener's Delight. It's shaped like a pear, and it is yellow. I haven't grown them in years. They're an heirloom, a heritage variety, and I've always liked them in the past. They always did well for me. Very tasty, sweet fruit, and because of their shape, very attractive on a plate in the summertime. Anyway, I'm only going to plant 2 or 3, maybe 3, I guess, of each of the tomatoes. I will be planting more later on, but I'd like to have some that are started quite early. And the peppers, I'll probably plant all that I plan to plant of those, a half dozen or so, I guess. So I'll come back and show you after I've seeded them in and whatever. They're going to be in plastic bags on the heat mat there, sharing space with the tropicals, the coffee, the olives, and the bananas, none of which have come up yet. I'm doing what I usually do to start seeds here. I plant the seeds in small, I don't know, I guess they're probably 3-inch pots, and then I put each one inside of a Ziploc sandwich-sized bag. After I have sown the seed, I've already done that, and it goes on the heat mat, which is just an old heating pad that I have set on the lowest possible setting. It seems to work very well for me. Then I water them in well and close up the bags. Whoops, dumping water all over the floor here. And that sort of makes like a little mini greenhouse in there under the lights. Under the lights for varieties that need light. Some things don't. I have to remember that. I was surprised at the size of the Gardener's Delight tomato seeds. Tiniest tomato seed I've ever seen. The yellow pear was the size of a normal, ordinary, large tomato seed, and the Gardener's Delight was, I don't know, a fraction of that size, I guess. Well, hopefully in a few days we will see some germination happening there. I put in just 3 each of the tomato seeds, and I didn't actually count the pepper seeds, but probably 8 or 9. If I get a half a dozen out of that, I'll be doing fine. And as far as the tomato plants go, I only want 1 or 2 right now to get going early. So of the 3 seeds in each one, I'm sure I'll get at least 1 or 2 out of it. We'll come back later and see what's happening here. Well, this is March 11th, and I just checked up in the grow room, and some of those tomatoes that I planted are starting to come up. I didn't check to see which variety it was, but before I post this video, I'll give you a little look at whatever's happening up there. I've decided to try to propagate my blackcurrant bushes. I've seen online where many people do this with cuttings, and these are just 4 very dormant cuttings. I just back in now from having cut them and had to wade through well over 1 meter of snow. This is what is sticking up out of the snow, is this length of cuttings. I have 4 bushes, and I took 1 cutting off of each one. And this is just one of those large, I guess 750 milliliter or something, yogurt containers with Pro Mix potting mix in it, and very wet. I put a lot of water in there. These would probably root just standing in water, but I'm going to try it this way anyway. It's basically the same thing that I did with my grapevines and had good success with it, so make sure it's nice and tight around them. And I will close it off at the top. Plan is to keep it on a windowsill, but in my basement I do have a twist tie somewhere here that I'll eventually close it off with. I can't quite see it right now. Anyway, I'll put it on the windowsill in my basement, which isn't heated, so the basement, well, heated marginally. The basement stays somewhere between 5 and 10 degrees. So that's what I did with the grapevines, and it worked. So we will see what happens. I'd love to have some more of the blackcurrant bushes. I really love blackcurrant jam, so if I get 2 or 3 more out of this, that will be a few years from now. They'll also be bearing fruit. Well, it's March 12th, and the tomatoes have started to come up. Number 23 there is Gardener's Delight, and number 40 is the yellow pear. There's clearly 1 in each, but I don't know if the other little one that's just starting to come up in the yellow pear is showing or not. But anyway, I'm removing them from the plastic bags that they were in and taking them off the heat mat. I'll probably put them over under the light in the arrow garden. There's room to put them both there. If I leave them in the plastic bags any longer and this far from the light, they start to get leggy, and like I said, I only wanted 1 or 2 of each anyway. More than likely the other 2 seeds in each pot will continue and come up, but this way I'm sure of at least getting 1 plant. Still nothing showing in the peppers, but that's not unusual. They take longer to germinate. And my 3 tropicals, there's nothing there either. No bananas, coffee, or olives yet. Let's take a little look at the pepper plants and get this thing up on the internet. Well, I did a bit more pruning on some of them last night, not all of them, so some of them have now had their 3rd pruning. The plants are looking very strong and healthy, so encouraged there. And these are the goji berries, which have really grown quite a bit since they were moved into larger individual grow bags. I'm not certain exactly how long ago that was, probably a couple of weeks ago, but they've certainly more than doubled in size in that length of time. I'll let them go on for just a bit yet, and then I'm going to do the same thing with those that I've done with the peppers. On the seed packet for these, it says that you can prune the tops off of them to get bushier plants. And lastly, there's the calendula. The blossom in the middle was the original one, and it seems to be fading away now. And the one on the right is the latest one that's just starting to open. And I guess you can see one off to the left in there that's not quite as far advanced. But altogether now, I haven't really examined the whole thing, but there's close to 10, I would say, different blossom buds. So the calendula does quite well in hydroponics. Well, let's go down and we'll make some popovers. Well, I thought I'd make some popovers today. It's been quite a while since I've made popovers, so fingers crossed that these work. That's 1 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour and a ½ teaspoon of salt, into which you add 1 1/4 cups of milk. I'm using skim milk, but any milk will do, I guess. It's important not to overbeat it, but you want to try to get most of the lumps out. The popover pan that you'll see in a few minutes I've had since, I don't know, sometime in the early 90s perhaps. My sister and her son, when he was younger, used to come here every summer. And one summer we went to the Jordan Pond restaurant down in Acadia National Park in Maine on the coast, which is famous for its popover afternoon tea. We had popovers and strawberry jam, and afterward I was surprised with a gift of the popover pan. Well, every year after that, when my young nephew visited, I had to make popovers every summer, so I'm a bit out of practice. It says on the recipe on the box, which is what I'm using, it says 3 jumbo eggs. Well, my hens don't lay jumbo eggs. What I'm going to do is put 6 bantam eggs. It says to add them one at a time and beat them in, so that's what I'll do, hoping that 2 bantam eggs is something close to a jumbo egg. You can actually buy jumbo eggs, at least you can on the American side. When I've made this before, I've bought the jumbo eggs, which quite often tend to be double yolked. But right now my girls aren't laying anything that size. Haven't had a double yolked egg yet, actually. Was thinking that I might see them now that the chanticleers have started to lay, because that's when you see them more frequently, is when a bird is first starting to lay, or after they have laid off laying for a while and start up again. When their reproductive system gets started, it sometimes makes a mistake and puts two yolks into one shell. But unless it was in an egg that I've given to somebody, I give eggs away every week, usually on the Sunday walking group, and I take a dozen or 2, whatever I have to spare. I don't sell them because I don't have enough to be bothered with selling, so give them to friends. Maybe they got a double egg out of it. don't want to overbeat because that's when you're going to, develop the gluten and they will be tougher. Anybody English out there who is looking at this is probably saying, well, that's just like Yorkshire pudding. And it is. The main difference between this and a Yorkshire pudding is that this is not going to be baked in the drippings from the Sunday roast. This is baked in this little pan here and is served as a dessert. So I guess I'll see if I can't find a ladle. It might make things easier. The advantage of this remote microphone, I can stroll all over the kitchen and still talk to you. I'm back, almost. You fill the cups of the popover pan 3/4 full. I've put it on a baking sheet, cookie tray, whatever, with a sheet of parchment. As I have learned from experience, sometimes if you get too much batter in one of the cups, it will overflow. So, a bit easier to clean up if it's just the parchment that you have to throw away, rather than try to scrape it off the cookie sheet or off the bottom of the oven. I think that looks like they're approximately equally full. Now they bake for 20 minutes in a 425 degree oven, and then without opening the door or cooling the oven down, you reduce the temperature to 325 degrees and bake another 20 minutes. So I'll see you in about 3/4 of an hour and see what these look like when they come out. Well, I guess you'll be able to see what I mean by they sometimes overflow the pan a bit, if you can see that. A couple of, I guess every one of them did actually. There's a little bit beside each one. Anyway, that's what they look like fresh out of the oven. It's best to eat them while they're still piping hot, but I also find if you wait 2 or 3 minutes, they come out of the pan much easier. So I usually give them a chance to steam just a bit. Don't want them to get cold, but they're nice, fresh and hot, so I'll see you in the dining room in a few minutes. Well, hopefully you can see that. I'll move my cup of tea out of the way, maybe. Cup of tea best enjoyed in a Tim Hortons mug. And that's what they look like once you get it out of the pan. Still nice and steamy hot. Just a bit of butter and a bit of Aunt Vera's homemade strawberry jam, which I try to ration. I don't want to run out of it. I love the stuff. If I must say so myself, very good. Well, I hope you'll give that a try. This has been, I think, my longest video to date, so it'll only be the brave that turn out to watch this, and I hope you give a comment down below so that I can enter you in the draw on March the 25th. Thank you very much for watching.